to your daily dose of facts to fight off the liberal gaslighting.
You can be in the middle of a hurricane.
You have sanctuary in the city of Chicago.
Or you can be on a calm day. North is still north. You could be in a thunderstorm.
I am angry. We are not going back. Not ever.
North is still north. People can yell at you.
The hell with the Supreme Court. We will defy them.
North is still north. It doesn't change fundamental things. And in this business, right is still right, even if you stand by yourself.
We don't get fooled again. No.
Live across the fruited plain and from sea to shining sea, we're converting the Marxist left 1 hour at a time on the Wendy Bell Radio program.
Hey!
Well, hello, America, and beyond the fruited plain, welcome home to the Wendy Bell Radio program, your source for common sense conservative values. It is great to be with you. Joining us is a gentleman by the name of Tom Trento. He is the director of the United West, and he has been introduced to me by our friend, national security expert John Guandolo. Tom, tell everybody, first of all, welcome to the program. Tell everybody a little bit about you before we launch into all this stuff going on geopolitically.
Yeah, how you doing, Wendy? The main thrust of everything, and we're very good friends with John Guandolo, is I run a counterterrorism organization designed, called the United West, designed to identify evil Muslim jihadis and Marxists and Antifa in the United States, and then expose them either through our communication, our video exposés, our undercover work, or our handing it over to law enforcement, and help keep America safe. And since October 7th, that job has magnified tremendously here in the United States.
Tell me why you say that. I mean, we know October 7th. We know what happened on that day. But what was the consequence here in America that you started to see?
It's very important for your listeners to understand there's two dimensions when dealing with the Islamic world. There's the geopolitical world, but there's also the theological world. And their political worldview, their political beliefs, their political interactions are driven by their theological understanding of what Allah wants at this moment. And October 7th is being perceived throughout the Muslim world, not only in the Middle East, but it spilled over into Washington, D.C. this past weekend when hundreds of thousands protested, when they were trying to get over the fence at the White House. They believe that the war that is going on, started by the Hamas, is a definitive eschatological end times moment where finally Islam will launch a jihad worldwide, destroy the Jews, then come and destroy America, the Christians. That's the plan theologically, and there's a whole variety of ways they intend on working it out in the United States.
So when you and I were going back and forth yesterday, Tom, and you said me something, Hamas coming to a neighborhood near you, you mean that in 100% seriousness?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the main Muslim Brotherhood, if you had John Guandolo on, he told you about the Muslim Brotherhood. He's one of the world's experts. And John and I are like brothers. I've taken him to Israel many, many times. He's an American hero. One of the main Muslim Brotherhood organizations in America, a name, most Americans may have heard of, CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. They are de facto, as a fact, a public relations arm, a collaborator with the Hamas. It's been proven in lawsuits filed by the federal government and proven logically when you look at what's going on. They oversee tremendous activity on about 600 campuses in the U.S., and now they have bought into this theological, eschatological moment that this time is ours. Put the pressure on the government primarily, and you're seeing that happen. 100 Muslims are walking out today from the Biden administration in protest of Biden supporting Israel.
This is, and you guys have followed this, but to flush it out so definitively on October 7th, they clearly know how weak America is.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. The Muslim Brotherhood, and all of this is being orchestrated by Iran. Iran is the central player in this. And the irony, Wendy, is that Iran are the Shia Muslims, the Persians. They want their Persian Empire again. They look down on Arab Muslims. The Arab Muslims are, desert-dwelling, youthful idiots. So the Persians have helped organize Arabs here and pointed them to fight Jews and Christians and trying to do it legally right now through these protests. I absolutely guarantee, mark my words, guarantee as the war in the Middle East, Israel destroying Hamas and then Hezbollah, increases, Muslims worldwide are going to get so pissed off that they can't do anything that they're going to start going kinetically jihad, ramming people with cars, stabbing people. It's happening in Western countries now. It's coming to a neighborhood near us in 2024.
How do we stay vigilant, Tom? What do we do?
Well, to stay vigilant, number one, every American, particularly conservative Americans who have a consistent understanding of evil, we have to recognize that there is a theological, religious war being perpetrated against us. You want to be able to win in a war, you have to understand what the enemy believes. In this case, Islamic Jihad, and I make a distinction, it's very important. I'm not indicting all Muslims. I'm indicting the system of Islam and the jihadis who are working within that system. We Americans have to realize there's a religious war. We have to, step number one, to be vigilant, develop a war footing mentality. The variety of elements necessary to do that. Number two, we have to coordinate quite a bit at the institutions that Islam has targeted. The DOJ, the campuses, media. We have to see where they're running their information operation, trying to present one thing while they do another, and expose that and work with local law enforcement. So that's number 2 point. War footing number one, work with local law enforcement to be the extended eyes and ears of the police, the sheriffs, the state police, and help report stuff we see to the right officials. We cannot get in a civil war, fighting war. We have to follow the rule of law, utilizing our tremendous law enforcement officers. And that may be tough in, crazy Democrat cities like Baltimore, Pennsylvania, and San Francisco that let George Floyd rioters burn the place down. You'll be seeing that for sure in 2024.
What is going on in Yemen?
Yemen is a bizarre country, number one. It's right next to Saudi Arabia at the the southern eastern tip of Africa. Country had a civil war, and the jihadis basically took over half of it. They took over the capital, Sana'a. And these are insane. These people are insane, but there's hundreds of thousands of them. And Iran, once again, Sunni Shia Muslims, they saw they can get the Yemenis, a particular class, the Houthis, to go fight the Jews. So they gave them a bunch of missiles and rockets and guns and everything else. So the Yemenis now, the Houthi part of the Yemenis, the jihadis, they want to show that they're a world player and they want to destroy Israel. And it's a face-off between the West and the Houthis backed by Iran. Very dangerous. Inevitably, it's going to lead to the West having to bomb parts of Yemen. There's no way out of this because these people, they have a death wish. In order to get to paradise, they've got to die. If they die in a jihad, that's their eternal security to be with Allah and enjoy the sexual favors and all of that stuff.
Is there a war going on in the world that the Biden administration and Barack Obama are not using our money to fund?
Not that I know of.
Like that's
you
my
mentioned Obama. I mean, he's so much behind all of this. It's unbelievable.
And the only reason why I bring up the financing, why are we giving this $6 billion? We're unfreezing that, giving that to Iran. Why? Is it because some people are getting very rich off of these deals?
Well, obviously there's that element, but it's a deeper philosophical element. Obama, when he came in 2008, in June of 2009, he went to Cairo, Egypt, and apologized to Muslims for America's behavior. And you got to be kidding me. You got this guy who is nothing. He's nobody. He's a slick talker. He apologizes for America's behavior. We are the most benevolent, loving, helpful. The blood of fighters and so many world wars to save Europe and help Japan rebuild. And he's apologizing to the Muslim community. Obviously, we knew he was off the rails, but he's brilliant. And he decided to abandon the Sunnis, hook up with the Shia, and work with Iran to be favored with them from a philosophical point of view initially. And he didn't start. He enabled Iran to be where they are today.
You know, I don't want to sound this way, but if you go to Catholic church or any church, or you go to synagogue, or it seems like these are all going to be hot targets. Am I stupid, or what's the deal there?
Again, we go back. No, you're not stupid. You're right on. We go back to the enemy's playbook, and the enemy is Islamic Jihad. I don't use the term radical Muslims, because a Muslim who's following his holy books is an observant Muslim. They don't call themselves radical Muslims.
Right.
They call themselves observant Muslims. If you read their playbook, they have two targets. One are the Jews, just because when God chose the Jews, they failed. So he chose Jesus, Christians, they failed. He finally chose Muhammad, the last final prophet, and everybody's supposed to listen to Muhammad. The Muslims are the best of all people. But when they walk outside their home, the 1.3 billion Muslims in 56 Muslim majority countries that are a mess, they realize we're not good at anything. Everything's falling apart. Oh, they don't blame themselves. It's the Jews' fault, and the Jew is in Jerusalem. Kill the Jew, regain control of Jerusalem, then go after the great Satan, the United States.
Right. You know, it's great to have you in my lair here because, Tom, we have an agreement. When there's something that we need to talk about, you let me know, yes?
I will let you know. And look, it's going to be a rough 2024. We're on the cutting edge of all this stuff, and you're doing a phenomenal job. We'll make a good team.
Well, I appreciate you, sir. Quickly, how do people find you if they want to follow you, if they want to learn more about you?
I don't need anybody finding me or following me. I'm always looking. But if you want to go to my website, actually, I'm very open. It's my real name and everything. The website is theunitedwest.org, theunitedwest.org.
Roger that, sir. Thank you for your time, Tom Trento, director of the United West. Thank you so much. Woo, we need somebody on our side who can speak this language for us because it's a lot. It's a lot.